Hello and good afternoon, everyone. This is Emmanuel Rahib from Smart Age Solutions, coming to you with the assistance, of course, through AGS, very proud partner of the American Gem Society. They are just a fantastic organization that has been really doing a lot of content creation, a lot of work to help the retailers, our industry, the vendors, and overall continue to have their convention, doing it virtually. So we're very proud and honored to be a member of AGS. And so today what we're going to be going over is just overall what digital marketing and what that landscape and looks like today. I'll share some stories of some retailers that have had some success, what that looks like, what they're seeing overall. I know a lot of retailers like to learn from one another, and love to share some of that as we go through this presentation, and hope that by the end of it, you could take something home back to your team and implement some of these learnings and really get a good understanding of how they translate into sales, how it translates into community outreach, and of course, an overall good to your overall business and community. So let's get started. The presentation today, digital marketing must-dos for the new normal, because nowadays, what is normal? And so as we go on, we as I mentioned, AGS, we recently became a member as recently as this year with AGS. We built hundreds of jewelry websites. We actively promote hundreds of jewelers as far as actively doing marketing for them. Being a premier Google agency, a premier Google partner, gives us a tremendous leg up on a lot of the other agencies that may service other industries. We're catered specifically for the jewelry industry. And of course, being the only one that's a premier Google partner and a Facebook partner, both gives us great knowledge from both platforms and a good perspective on how to implement marketing really through cross-platform marketing and cross-channel marketing. Again, being a Google Premier partner allows us a lot of insights on what's new, what's coming, and especially nowadays, it's very important to know what's really coming and what's trending. All of our staff that work on Google are certified experts, so you're not necessarily just working with regular interns and whatnot. We're really experts in the field. So we've been doing it for quite some time, and we've been quite happy servicing this industry. We work with a breadth of multiple brands and retailers across the industry. I'm not sure who's out there in the audience today, but you've probably heard of us. You've seen us at shows, and our mission has always and continues to be to help brick and mortar jewelers compete, win, and own their backyard. This has been a fundamental mission at Smart Age. We will not sort of work with e-commerce only people. We will not work with people looking to just do an appointment type of thing. We want to support brick and mortars because as we continue out, I'm going to sort of explain where I personally came from and some of the successes that and some of the innovations that we've seen. And we believe as a company that the brick and mortar jeweler is truly very important for the industry and also the communities that they service and they serve. Again, my story, a little bit of background on me, over 18 years of e-commerce and marketing experience specifically within the jewelry industry. And that's really important, why I try to make that a key note here, where it's specific to jewelry, because jewelry is so intimate, and it's really been one of the very few industries that have not been consolidated by the big boxes like the Home Depots or the Amazons taking out the Barnes and Nobles of the world, and Home Depot's the local stores there. And the problem is why jewelers in particular have been really, really strong is because it's a true experience. It's a true emotional purchase. It's not necessarily something that you could just come and go with. It's something that you have to touch and feel, and it's a story to be told. And there's nothing better and more romantic and charming than going and understanding what you're buying and who you're buying it from. And that's really why we focused on the jewelry industry. I personally have been in the e-commerce world since 2001. I've worked on a number of e-commerce websites, but I founded an e-commerce website back in 2001. And I realized very early on that just e-commerce isn't the way to go, simply because it has a very low repeat business rate, loyalty, it's very poor. The consumers aren't very loyal. They're very price conscious. So you're always competing for the buck. And really, it wasn't until 2007 that I planned to get out. And then something miraculous actually happened that kept me in the game a little bit longer. And in 2010 is when we started Smart Age. Now, why did I decide that maybe e-commerce only wasn't the right play? Simply because I myself am a marketer, but also have an accounting background. And so everything to me is about numbers and trending. And looking at the numbers, it just never made sense to be an online only retailer, simply because marketing costs rise year over year online. And as I mentioned, it's very price conscious. And so what ends up happening is if your competitor online is selling it for $10 more, or $10 less rather, then you have to bring down your price. And so, profitability started playing a hand in it, and trending didn't look very positive. But when you look at the retail brick and mortar, it's a bit different. You get a higher price point, you get higher margins, you get a lot of cross-selling and upselling opportunities. And so in general, as I mentioned, the customer loyalty is increased. And so now, back in 2001, when we started e-commerce, but then I sort of trended that in 2007, maybe e-commerce only wasn't right, and you really needed an a physical store to truly have grassroots growth and real good solid business foundation. I personally was not in favor of opening up retail stores, and God bless you out there for the ones who do run a retail store. It's really very difficult, far more difficult in my opinion than running an e-commerce website, only because you have to carry inventory, and you have to train the salespeople, and you have to hold real estate space in the prime space. So it's truly a different experience than e-commerce. And so now what we're starting to see, ironically, when I said e-commerce was not the right thing to do back in 2007, e-commerce only rather, without the support of brick and mortar, people thought I was crazy. But today what we're seeing is people like Brilliant Earth, Blue Nile, Warby Parker, Amazon. These people are opening up stores, and you kind of have to wonder, these are companies who were born online. Why in the world would they want to open up physical stores, especially in Amazon? As an e-commerce or an online business, the last thing in the world you want to do is go offline and put up a bricks presence, because it's just a completely different business. But they didn't do it because they wanted to do it. It was out of necessity, for the reasons why I'm going to start explaining in a little bit. So now, interestingly enough, in 2008, there was the crash. And in those years, companies, very similar to now, they got scared, so they reduced costs, they laid off staff, and they pulled out of marketing, right? That's the natural knee-jerk type of thing, preserve, self-preservation. And it scared a whole lot of people, rightfully so. However, and in this diagram, you'll notice how even ad spend decreased tremendously during those 2008, 2009 years. And what ends up happening is a lot of people get nervous, get rattled, and so what we like to call the ostrich effect. They put their head in the sand and wait for everything to blow over. And so that in itself is what actually kept me in e-commerce just a little bit longer, not because I wanted to necessarily be there, it's because there was tremendous opportunity in 2008 that I am about to show you right now. And what is that opportunity? You say, well, Emmanuel, are you kidding? I mean, in 2008, there were the sky was falling. You know, buildings like Bear Stearns was being sold pennies on a dollar. Real assets in Manhattan, prime real estate was being sold pennies on a dollar. What could you possibly do? But if you look at the numbers tell a different story. Because the majority pulled an ostrich effect, as a disciplined marketer, my approach was always look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie, and the numbers tell the story. Stores were closing, correct. But I like, it's a bit of a morbid, a bit of a morbid type thing where, unfortunately, a lot of companies were, closing and going bankrupt. However, myself and my company weren't. We were actually doing quite well, better than we had ever done. And again, it's a bit of an anomaly. So you say, well, why? That doesn't make sense. And usually I give a lot of speaking events and it's in front of people, so I could sort of throw that question around and I'll ask people, why do you think that was the case? And some people, will try to answer it. Very few will get it. And the answer is competition. Overnight, we went from 30 competitors to 3. I had very little competition. There was almost non-existent competition. And so less competition equals less noise, which means a greater dollar penetration and a cheaper customer acquisition. It's a simple fundamental rule. It doesn't change, regardless if you're online or you're offline. These marketing disciplines apply across the board. So yes, although people were buying, there were less people buying. Yes, that was true, but they were still very much buying. And remember, at that time, it was 2008, far less technology, far less capability. Facebook wasn't even out, and it was selling diamonds online. I mean, you would imagine, wow. I mean, for God's sake, if I wasn't selling diamonds in my store, are people really buying it online? I have to answer yes, I was doing it. And so here's the math. In 2007, when things were great, I had to pay as an advertiser $3 for every visitor that I brought to my website. If I wanted 100 visitors, I had to pay $300. Now, for those visitors, if I sold 2, I would get a 2% conversion rate, which now equals $150 for acquisition. Now, if I spend the same money at 75 per visit, at 100 visits, for those, it then cost me 75. If I sold 1 out of 100 with a 1% conversion, I end up paying $75 for that acquisition. So let me go back to it. If I had to pay in 2007 for the same 100 customers, $3, cost me $300 to get a customer, for those visitors. If I sold 2 of them, well, now it cost me $150 to acquire a customer. In 2008, when there was a recession, yes, less people purchased. So even if I brought them in at 75 cents equals $75, if I sold 1 of them, I essentially paid $75 for that acquisition, halving my cost of acquisition. And that's why our numbers, our sales, and truly our profits were astronomical. And so, well, you say, Emmanuel, you're an online company and we're a physical store. That is correct. But the simple principle applies. Less competition equals less noise, and you have a far greater dollar penetration. I have some clients right now, believe it or not, some really aggressive retailers that negotiated, truly an incredible visionary of a retailer, negotiated with his TV, radio, and he gave us a much larger budget for digital, and he negotiated cheaper prices, even while in COVID. And now, not only is he thriving because their stores are opening now, but they're just doing far better than even they expected. So that's what I say to you. Simple principles apply. We just have to be courageous and really visionary enough to see it in front of us. Today, you have more tools than ever. They're far cheaper and way more effective than even what was in 2008. And now as we go, I'm going to show you what these tools are, how to use them, and what we have seen retailers do and how successful they've been. So let's get to the must do's. What must you do in the new normal? Number one is your website. I think it's without say that having a good website nowadays is critical to a business. We are seeing unbelievable growth in traffic. We're seeing growth in leads. We're seeing growth through sales come to the website. I'm sure you also are probably seeing very similar results there. But what we're also noticing is that, of course, with the stores being closed, things are shifting. And how are they shifting? Well, National Retail Federation said that 74% this is out of 8,000 consumers that they censused, 74% of consumers say they believe COVID will have some impact on their lifestyle over the next 5 years as they consider things like dining out, budgeting, and vacationing. So it is going to change, right? Now, having that unbelievable, beautiful store experience is just not enough. You need to add more to it. And again, I'm not here to say, well, sky is falling, you really have to do this or you're dead. No, that's not what we're here for. It's we're going to show you fundamental, very basic things you can do to improve your website, improve your traffic, improve your marketing, and get consumers back in your door. However, your website is truly critical in the world of interactive retail. And as you all can see, it just became real. This is a snapshot of one of our retailers and showing how a direct correlation, which again, if you all have analytics, Google Analytics, to go onto your website and try to see and learn, because we encourage people to really learn from your Google Analytics. And you look at it, this is a snapshot. Their traffic more than doubled since COVID hit nationally here in America, of course, in March 16, right around March 14. You see how it almost just skyrockets right up. That's to show that consumers have an appetite. It's not like the consumers just went away. No, they have an appetite and they want to come see you. You just have to receive them. And how do you receive them? Well, your website needs to have the products that you actually sell. I have been really truly advocating retailers put up products on their website. Okay, put up, and then everybody has their own problems on why my vendor doesn't, I can't take pictures, so on and so forth. So they put up big splashy images and big banners. That's a huge no-no. My e-commerce years, putting up a big splashy banner was the last thing you do. You have to put up products. And more importantly than just putting up products, you have to really pretend as if you're selling on this website to your customers. Merchandise it. I mean, I can't tell you how many websites, even though the website may look great and have products, the products are just not merchandised. Their products are old. Their products on the website aren't exactly what they have that are good sellers in their store. The titles are wrong, or the titles don't even exist much of the time. Really, people have to take a look at their site and think of it as, would I accept this behind the counter? And does this convey the product I sell? Having good quality images. I know everybody sort of wants to take images themselves and create, and unfortunately, you really have to up your quality of images game, because what you're selling on your website are images. That's what you're conveying the product. And I have to say, things have been getting a lot better as far as vendor management of their images and their assets. They've been very good. The brands have been very good at improving the brand's images and the quality of their pictures. So we're seeing a tremendous increase in quality there. And so, but I want to actually talk about this. If I highly, highly, highly am against people thinking that I'm going to take a picture and it's going to have a very ugly, dark background, and the ring isn't going to really show well. It's almost like me telling you, okay, Mr. Jeweler, shut off your lights at your store because you spent so much money on your lighting. Shut those lights, those expensive, beautiful lights that show the diamond beautifully, and then try to sell your diamond jewelry under no light. And that's kind of what I need people to start thinking. This is a living, breathing business. It's not just something we keep on the side. It's something that really brings people in. And more importantly than that is, do you have the right amount of touch points? What we call places of entry, call to action. How can I, as a consumer, get to you? Can I easily get to you? And I challenge a lot of our retailers with this. You know, I go to you, I'm sure you can go to your store right now, close your eyes, and walk from the door, open the door, walk to the bathroom, wash your hands, walk back out, lock the door, all blindfolded. You can absolutely do that. But can I? No. As a regular consumer, no. In the same token, I want you to look at your site from a bias perspective. Don't, a lot of times we ask people, well, how do I call you? Well, Manuel, it's simple. Well, you got to click here, you got to click there. No, no, no. Again, you know. But can a simple layman know how to easily, within a split second, don't make me think is a slogan we like to go with. Do not make me think. Make my life easier as a consumer. Make it easy for me to contact you. Make it easy for me to connect to you. And that's what I really want people to think about. And you need to use these capture points to bring people in. If you look at this web page, performs extremely well because we strategically designed a lot of, and some repeat. For example, if you look on the right, you have a book appointment. You also have it at the top, book appointment. It's in two spaces, right? It's in two places. Phone number is there. Live chat is there. Leave a note is there. Add to cart, schedule an appointment. There's multiple places strategically placed. You don't have to just throw them and make them ugly. You can make them pretty, but you have to do them. On-site reviews is so important. Don't make me leave your website to see your reviews. Right now, we use a tool called Review Beacon. We've created this tool called Review Beacon, and it's truly easy, but there's so many out there. There's Google extensions. There's so many tools out there that you can use. Put your reviews on your website. It's kind of like having your best customer next to you as you're selling your piece of jewelry to the next customer at your store. How good does that feel, right? It's just the best feeling when you're trying to sell that beautiful diamond ring, and then right next to you is your best customer who's saying, oh yeah, John, he's the best. He takes care of me. Oh, just the most satisfying feeling, isn't it? That's exactly what this is. So it's a simple thing you can immediately do to improve people trusting and coming back into your store. And use your website as a communication tool because, like I showed you earlier, people are coming to it. You'd be surprised. Make your store announcements there. They want to know you're open. They want to know how they can buy from you. Do you have any kind of special shopping, whether it's curbside pickup or do you have any kind of safety rules that you're putting in place? You need to convey your messages right on your website. Now, a lot of people say, well, Emmanuel, I have so many people trying to talk to me about websites. It's overwhelming. It's very difficult. Everybody's trying to talk to me. I'm not an IT guy. I'm not an IT person. I don't understand all this jazz. What do I do and what do I use? And so as a company, we prefer to always, and again, me being from my e-commerce years, we always look for platforms, website platforms for people to use that are scalable, robust, that are going to grow with you and your business, especially as you get into more intricate and more tactical marketing, initiatives. The top three that we recommend is Magento, BigCommerce, and Shopify. These are website platforms that really are super robust and are constantly being innovated and upgraded. Now, on the right, you see WordPress, and of course, WordPress and Squarespace, they're great websites, but they're very simple. They're not able to scale, in our opinion, to scale with e-commerce. They're not built for that type of business. They're not built for the robust marketing suites that Magento, BigCommerce, and Shopify are. So in our opinion, we would stay clear of that. And then there's a lot of the DIY platforms, the Wix, Weebly, I wouldn't, as a real business, take those and try to do it yourself. I mean, invest kind of like you invest in your decor and your marketing and everything else. Invest in your online business as you would in your store. And then there's the closed source technology companies. Those are the companies that sort of out of the box where you don't have much control. It's sort of like templated type things and they're all over. We don't recommend them because, again, you're limited by how big that company is. You're limited by their technology, by their experience, by their knowledge. And so it's the scalability becomes a problem at that point. And plus, you're not able to sort of allow anyone else, whether they're better suited, to help you with your website. So you sort of hamstring your website in that sense. So again, we highly recommend those platforms. What's your homework? Upload updated inventory on your website, add reviews on your website, and of course, update your hours on your website. Number two is we have now seen just the most explosive results coming from from text chat in general. We at Smart Age have a tool called text chat through Review Alert. There's many out there. We have seen such incredible momentum and so many success stories come through this. I mean, one success story was literally yesterday. As we are integrating our text chat on a client's website, they started getting texts in from customers looking to buy. It was that instantaneous. And what's beautiful here is now the jewelry store owner can validate and really see, wow, my website is really living, it's breathing. There's real customers behind the scenes. Wow, it's not just this mystical, magical thing that I see. No, there's really people living on it. And with that comes responsibility. You have to be very clear on dedicating people to respond, because the numbers are very, very good. Because 72% of millennials say they text 10 or more times. I am far more than that. I'm sure you are as well. 98% of those messages get read, far greater than any marketing tool you can ever do. And more importantly than that, the response time. What we're seeing is if you delay your response time, you now start having a very dissatisfied customer experience. And what the numbers showed is that over time, you actually start losing the lead so much so that it almost becomes a cold lead, where if your response time is anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, you essentially have decreased your chances of closing it or making a lead a sale by 80%. So you really, if you're going to do it, you have to be on top of it. I would recommend you using any one of these three platforms. We have ours, which is Review Alert. There is Facebook, which is free. There's Live Chat. It's a great tool. And again, there's so many out there. I'm sure you guys have, some of them are going to fit your model. Some of them are not. Zendesk, I know, has one. And there, again, it goes on and on and on. But really pick one, make it a point to do it. I have personally went through the list of all AGS members, and I looked on your websites. Many, I would say over 50%, still do not have a basic text chat. And if you don't want to do anything, just take the free Facebook Messenger and use that at the bare minimum so people can start talking to you. Your homework: choose a software for live chat or text chat and put it up there. Virtual assistants. This, again, everything we're showing you right now is something, whether it's a campaign, a strategy, a tool that we have implemented and we have seen results. These are not mystical ideas. These are not things that we think you should do. Because we are an agency that works with pretty much across every state, we see things that work. And so in this particular example, virtual appointment, this has actually become very popular. And we started talking about it right as COVID hit, and we created a landing page. You can do it on your website as well. This is something we provide. You just put something in your header or in the top of your website that says book an appointment or virtual appointment. You click it, it comes to a page, and it just tells the story to your consumers that you are open to virtual appointment. Now, you say, well, Emmanuel, anybody can reach out to us and do a virtual appointment. That's pretty simple. Aha, wrong. Marketing tells you if you do not tell the customer exactly what you want them to do, they will think you do not do it. And so in this case, if I did not have it, the consumer would be like, you know what, I'll try them again later. But if you tell them I have virtual appointment, I understand maybe you're scared or you have some issues leaving the house. Let's talk, let's do it. And when we implemented this, and this is another story, another one of our retailers, he was just, same kind of argument. Emmanuel, people know they can always call us. I mean, we can get on a FaceTime and we do it. And I explained, I understand, but please overcome that. You think the consumers know. and do me a favor and do this. And they did. And their appointments just skyrocketed. And he called me back and said, wow, Emmanuel, first of all, I apologize. I mean, I thought I knew everything. I really don't. But more importantly, wow, we're making sales now right from the virtual appointment chat. And so that's what I mean when I say sometimes the obvious is not so obvious, and you really need to communicate to your consumers about it. There's many, many great virtual assistant tools. Instagram has them, YouTube has them, Facebook, Google Hangouts, Zoom, like we're on right now. These are great software tools that you can use to help through your virtual appointments. Build a virtual appointment page to tell people about what you're doing, and also set up an account with one of these platforms that I just went over, or you can use any other one that you find, that's fine. And then of course, announce it, email it, tell the customers that we're open for business through virtual. And then the next point here is home deliveries. This has been something that I'm seeing a lot of retailers do with some unbelievable success. I personally find it to be such a nice touch. It's such a beautiful, I care about you, I care about your business, I care about your relationship, and we're here to help you. Curbside pickup or home deliveries. I have some of the, you call them high-end retailers, right? They have the high-end brands. The owners themselves are going door to door. I mean, they have a staff of 50, 60, 100 people. The owners themselves are going to the customers' homes and delivering it and thanking them. And I cannot tell you, that's the beauty of this industry. When I was talking about, the Home Depots dominating the hardware and the bookstores being dominated by Amazon, the jeweler has such an intimate touch with their customers that we are able to do something like that. And so execute on it. And there's a lot of brands that are doing a lot of clienteling. I know Gabriel and Company, a partner of ours, has been really doing a great job working with their retailers, helping them clientele, setting up home deliveries. And really, there are some companies localized that will help you do that. You can pay for that service. In my opinion, if you're able and you're healthy enough to do it, it adds a nice touch if you're able to do it. But of course, if you're unable to, there's companies that are willing to do that. Now, fifth is Google search and Google My Business. Google My Business is something very important. And again, I went through the AGS list. Looking at their websites and everybody sort of on the Google, how they're looking, and getting a good barometer on how everything is. And I can't tell you again how many people have not yet uploaded their new hours to Google My Business. It is so important to upload your new hours so when customers are looking for you, they know if you're open, if you're closed, what to do. Update your phone number. A lot of times these phone numbers, they're hooked up to a central number that now nobody's picking up. Make sure you upload your new number or put it up on Google. Improve the experience for your customers trying to get in touch with you. And if you have any kind of information you want to add on there, use Google My Business. It's a great resource for you to communicate and bring customers in. And then another thing we would recommend is PPC search. Now, a lot of our clients are doing PPC search, and right now they are seeing some explosive results from it. Now, we were telling people to continue, and if you were going to continue doing search, Google search, of course you don't want to do everything. You want to be very targeted. And what do you do? Now, engagement rings, and right now what we're hearing from a lot of retailers that are open is bridal and engagement rings is just on fire. It's just fun. They're having almost a hard time getting product at this point. And so engagement has been an incredible driver of business. And ironically, some retailers of ours that I had an opportunity to speak to also, who sort of either reduced their budget on engagement ring search, called me last week and told me, wow, I lost such an opportunity during that gap. But this is a time where you can get back on the horse and continue generating that lead and continue generating that business that you may have missed out on during the patch a few months back now. And if you're going to advertise the brands you carry, because that's certainly an important thing that for you. Your core products, diamond studs, diamond eternity bands. If you sell or you buy jewelry in a state, that's something that's popular now. We're seeing promote that. And of course, you should always promote your brand name to make sure that also you come up when people are searching it, and also prevent competitors from buying your traffic. Because I don't know if that has happened to you guys, but it seems to happen a lot more and more across the board. And so to prevent your competitor from showing up ahead of you, we would recommend you doing that. And overall, we're starting to see traffic, as this graph shows, the traffic online has truly increased. And we're seeing a further increase of that because people are home. So they're not out shopping door to door. The only thing they have right now is in their hands. They're not able to go from place to place. So that's where we're starting to see some incredible trending, increase in trending for engagement rings, for bridal. This is from Google directly, from buying and selling. This is again, this is a snapshot from a few retailers put together, and we tried to get an understanding of what's really happening in the market. Is search traffic up? And as you can see here, again, this is not the most recent data. This was taken from to show the increase right as we started hitting COVID. And so what's important here, as in Ogilvy's terminology here, the first dollar of marketing, this is Ogilvy again, Ogilvy Mather, a very large agency owned by WPP, the first dollar a marketer spends should be on search. This has never been truer than in a recession. And I think right now, a lot of people have the taste of that right now that's happening. Of course, we're not in one, and God willing, we never go down that road. And hopefully we can get that V-shaped bounce back. And we're hearing tremendous amount of positive optimism and sales coming in right now as stores reopen. But this is Ogilvy, a traditional TV, radio type company, has shifted gears and saying to really hone in on digital and search. So update My Google My Business and be prepared, and prepare for your Google search ads and your strategy. Number 6 is social media. This we get so many questions on, and it's such an, it's such an incredible marketing channel, because it's become so diversified. It's become so intricate to a business, the way you perceived, the things you stand for. And really, what you do on social media says a lot about who you are. It's almost now you're sort of showing the world who you are as a company. In the past, they came to your store and that was it. It kind of ended. But today, what you say on social media, how you say it, makes a lot of difference on how you're perceived. And in particular, these days, you have to be very careful. And so we get a lot of questions, people asking, well, Emmanuel, what do I do, right? Is it compassionate to show diamonds, right? People are getting laid off, people are getting fired, economy is down. Should we post diamond jewelry? It seems wrong. And so, yes, you should. Of course you should. However, you need to be very smart and compassionate about how you do it. You're in the jewelry business, and being in the jewelry business means you have to be smart about how you sell your product. And in this particular instance, you do it in a very nice and compassionate way. Now, with that, you always have to remain on social media. This in particular, Gabriel & Company did a great job of showing jewelry, but at the same time, compassionate and understanding of the environment. They're not just showing a big splashy diamond and saying, buy me. They're doing it in a very classy way. John Hardy, similar, very nice, very compassionate, showing two people holding hands, we're in it together, at the same time, showing their jewelry. David Yurman, showing sort of like the story of David Yurman. Not necessarily showing the jewelry, but showing the story. Still posting, still talking, so that they're not cold or they don't go dark, but at the same time, they're showing the backstory. And here's some other good ideas that we saw online. Frida Rothman, I think, did a great job here. Holding hands, showing products, showing ancestry, lineage, really doing a fantastic job, showing togetherness. This is what you can do to, number one, show compassion, and number two, stay relevant and show your products. This is a client in particular, Oars. Again, great job with Oars, showing engagement rings. Everybody loves to see feel-good content, feel-good material, two people holding hands, proposing, being compassionate and sensitive. Again, Or's here showing a Cartier, and you would think, oh my God, Emmanuel, this is a big flashy diamond watch. Well, if you read the caption, they're cheeky, they're funny. They didn't do it in an absurd way where, buy me, sale. What time is it? The caption says, probably time to wash your hands again. Again, very cheeky, very funny. We happen to, everybody likes a good laugh, especially in times like this. So you want to be upbeat, you want to be friendly. And again, this is Ors where they show an engagement ring. And then again, jewelry is a perfect time to remember, is a perfect reminder of important people in a moment in our lives. Again, showing togetherness and love. And lastly, we want to show just some ideas that we saw some across the board where custom jewelry is something that Bell Jewelers in particular, how they posted gift cards from Galloway, Mosley, and Freeman Jewelers. They showed it, but if you notice the caption, want to shop in your pajamas, free shipping, jewelry, curbside pickup. Overall, a very, very nice, funny, cheeky, at the same time, showing diamond jewelry. Now, more important than ever is your stories, your community management, and keeping on social media, whether you want to push that message through ads. The last thing, and we're starting to hear a lot about it, is this Instagram and Facebook shops. We get a lot of questions. How do we do it? Should we do it? How do we set it up? This has been something that Facebook, Instagram has had for a long time. However, what they've done now is added the ability for you to sell right on the platform. If you want information about that, you can reach out to whoever's managing your Facebook. You can reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help show you and inform you how to set that up. But we absolutely recommend taking advantage of this channel. It is absolutely imperative you do that. It's something different, and you always want to be at the cutting edge. Revisit your social media, a little bit of homework for you to do. Revisit your social media strategy. Post, but be conscious, be cheeky, be compassionate of the environment that we're in right now, and plan your calendar over the next month or 2 months and designate a community manager, because right now I can't tell you how bad things can get viral or how good they can go viral. So you need to stay on top of your social, right? SOS, stay on social, stay on top of it, have somebody watch it, talk about it, and convey it. Number 7 is clienteling. It's just absolutely the best thing you can do. I'm seeing so many retailers doing it right now. The expression bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. What's better than your existing customers? And that's not to say call them up and sell them stuff. It's to say, hi, we're still here. An anniversary is coming up. Here's some cool ideas. Not to say, hey, we have a $3,000 discount on this. But again, being compassionate, acting as their concierge, asking them, can I help you with something? I know you were getting married, or I know you were planning on doing it. You can become their personal shopper during times like this. And of course, setting up your sales teams with sales initiatives, not, call customers and sell them and throw things down their throat, but suggestive selling. Also, maybe giving a percentage of all sales and donate to local charities. That's something that can sort of start stirring up some excitement in the community. And you can always create. We're seeing some great retailers right now doing funny, cheeky promotions. You can always continue selling. Again, it's just being compassionate and being conscious of where we are right now and doing it in a very proper way, but at the same time being on top of mind of your customers. During hard times, guard high value customers and all of them. Again, we love Ogilvy. We like Ogilvy because simply they do a lot of research, and we use a lot of that research. During hard times, guard high value customers, and you guard all of them. And that can't be more true than today. So you all have high value customers, call them, just say hi, just talk to them, see how things are going. And then if they need something, of course, you'll be the first one on the top of their mind. Create an outreach strategy, assign goals to your sales team, not necessarily sales goals in particular, but tie in how many people did you call? What happened? Is there, is Judy okay? Can we help her with something? And of course, setting up a clienteling program will help you generate even further business. Now, of course, here, we highly recommend email marketing. We're starting to see a tremendous open rate over the past few months, simply because people are home, right? They're not as distracted. They're home, they're on their phone, they're on their computer. I'm sure you guys feel the same thing out there. You're on your phone, so you're checking your emails more. The open rate for the first hour after a newsletter is sent is up by 28%. People are opening their emails faster across the globe. And again, that is purely because they're home and you have more of their attention. And here are some tips for email marketing. Avoid sending more than 4 per month. Don't be afraid to use call to action buttons like shop now, and keep the subject line concise and so that it stands out in mobile, because you have to remember most of your emails are being read on mobile, so you only have 5 to 6 words to get their attention. So be very clever in doing so. Create an email marketing calendar, and of course, plan for the next 2 to 3 emails at the bare minimum. And then implement strategies to win market share. I can't tell you how many people we talk to that say, well, my threat is Blue Nile, James Allen, and Amazon. Well, we always go back to them and tell them absolutely not. That is not who you're at. That is not who your competitor is. Your competitor is the guy down the road who is able to implement everything we just talked about. Community outreach, local marketing, local initiatives. It's the person down the road who's able to do that. Those are the ones who you're losing customers to. So in a time like this, it's a great time, kind of like I opened up my presentation here today, is now is the time to acquire those customers, because most likely your competitor is an ostrich and you hope that they are. And so this is a perfect time to do that. You got to look for, you look at who the competitors are. You probably know who they are. And you try to, of course, service a little bit better. You find new initiatives to get out there with. Look at your website and see what you can help promote, and set clear targets of market share that you want. If you know, for example, 1,000 people in your community get married a year, how many engagement rings do you sell? Do you sell 5? Do you sell 10? And now how many do you want? Do you want 30? Well, now that becomes a market share percentage you can identify. And so that's where we really want you to focus on. I would take away your focus from all these big online retailers and focus it on your community. Identify market share that you have today, and then how much you want to be. Contact your marketing strategist, whoever it is, whether it's in-house, an agency, or whoever, and ask them to pull a competitor report, create and implement a follow-up plan of attack, and not necessarily attack the competitor, but also attack the market that you want. And then really the last thing is co-op. Right now we're talking to so many brands that are truly just as confused as anyone else, right? The brands themselves are confused. They're not sure how to market. They're not sure how to. So work together. Sorry. We're all in the same industry. We're all together. The brands are looking to help their retailers. Retailers want to work with their brands. So look at what you can do for each other. Work with each other. These are some really great brands that are working with their retailers, that want to continue partnering with their retailers. I know in particular, Gabriel Mikimoto have great co-op programs that they're running, and they're looking to continue to support their partners. And so use their advantage. Use that cooperative marketing collateral. You can work with each other and you can help support each other. This is, a lot of times in the past, you'll say, well, the brand wants to, is working for themselves and this and that. I would say come together, because trust me, we work with brands, we work with the retailers, and we truly see that they both have great intentions. They both want to improve the quality and their own businesses, but of course they understand that they have to work together, and they do want to work together. So I highly, highly, highly recommend you reaching out if you do carry brands and work with those brands. Reach out to your brands, inquire about the co-op dollars that you have, create a plan of action to allocate, and run your co-op campaigns over the next 2 weeks. And you should really take today as something of a point to start, where you can't keep pushing it aside. You shouldn't keep pushing it aside. And now, what does that mean? At the end of the day, to grow, you need to market. Again, in the words of Ogilvy, companies that increase marketing spend in recessions recover 3 times faster than in normal times. And this is a graph to sort of highlight that exact sentiment here. by increasing your ad spend by 28 to 50%. Again, this is absurd, right? You would think, oh my God, who would do such a thing? Well, in 2007, we did. In 2008, that's exactly what I did. But then again, it's not to spend money, it's to get market share and to get customers. And a lesson to be learned, you get 4 times the market share than in normal times. And the lesson that Ogilvy says, when you have an effective campaign, you should spend every last cent you can scrape up on it. That's not to say that go bust or go, go bankrupt doing it. No, but it's something that you should keep conscious of and try to invest in so that you can recover not only faster, but actually come out ahead. And now here's a little bit of bonus. A lot of people are asking reopening. How do I do that, Emmanuel? How do I reopen? Well, safety first. Don't show me. Show me, don't tell me. Show me, don't tell me. And what's better than a video? This is a client in particular who literally just took a video camera, a phone, and recorded them walking through the store and showing how they are adjusting to safety and what they're doing for safety measures. And it was such a beautiful, well done video. And it was no professional camera crew or whatnot. They just walked around with an iPhone and they did a quick little video. That's so effective in showing how much you care. And when customers see that, they think, okay, when I come in, I know what I'm prepared for. And also get prepared, have masks, have hand sanitizers, tell people you clean their jewelry, create partitions if that's the case, seamless shopping, tell customers you come in, we're not going to be on top of you, create signage to inform people that we care about safety. These are things that today the new normal looks like. And it's not necessarily, oh, God is another thing. No, here's the beauty of this. A lot of people are thinking, oh, God, I have to do this. But a lot of people are saying, oh, wow, I can't wait. Let me get to do this. And when they do, those retailers, I can promise you we're seeing this, are seeing year over year growth. They're not seeing a down year, believe it or not. They're actually seeing up years because they're starting to get those consumers that they never got before into their doors. And so you take lemons and you turn them into lemonade. Again, it's so easy to be an ostrich. It's so easy to just do nothing. But there's so much reward in taking what you have and turning it to your favor. And I'll end it with some really cool success stories. A client of ours, this was actually right around in March, right around when COVID hit, late March, called us up and said, oh my God, we had just launched a website for him. Said, oh my God, wow, I can't believe what just happened. This individual, this is still in COVID, but this is when the height of it. He got a person that called him, a customer called him because he had a $60,000 necklace on his website that he didn't even know he had. He didn't even know he had because we just uploaded it on his website and he made the sale of a necklace right off of his website, not having e-commerce or anything, just over the phone. He called us and thanked us. Again, this sort of shows that people are still buying. Another one, now that Mother's Day passed, so we're talking to a lot of our clients, Mother's Day, this is a client of ours in Ohio, Mother's Day exceeded my expectations, and now we're actually up in May. Again, this is not absurd because I am so sure that so many of you out there are experiencing now the same things. And then the last one is a client of ours in Pennsylvania, rather, they uploaded and they started up the text chat, and within days, they closed a Patek Philippe watch right through the text to a brand new customer through their website. These are things that are seeing tremendous success. These are retailers that are seeing tremendous success using simple channels to get customers through their doors and buying from them. And now, what I love to say is live smart, but not in fear. Being smart isn't necessarily being a risk taker or being aggressive or bullish. It's doing the right thing, being laser focused and being very intelligent about how you implement it. And fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. As Zig Ziglar says, forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And of course, at Smart Age, the only thing we know how to do is face it and we rise. And we hope that's the sentiment that I want to leave every one of you with. Again, AGS is a wonderful organization. I'm sure a lot of you out there has also seen some success. And if you're sort of not getting all the questions answered, we've created a Facebook group called the Intelligent Jeweler. Join us over there, ask your questions. If you have things that maybe you have you're unsure of, you can always reach out through Facebook. And right now, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to take them. But I want to leave it off with, thank God, we're all very blessed. I mean, thank God. Hopefully, none of us are, have any kind of, God willing, none of us have any kind of health issues through this. And if so, we pray that you get better in your families. But this really brought us, it's cliche, brought us together, but it truly has, it's re-energized us. It's made us think about our communities differently. It's made us consider our business differently. And we're starting to see the good in people. We're starting to see the true love and compassion that this industry brings to each and every community that it serves. And that's something that I can't see any other industry doing, or I have not been able to see it. We have jewelers that are out giving, donating food, donating supplies, jewelers that are opening up their doors for the community. Just good quality people rising, and God willing, we're going to not only thrive after this, but we will see greater heights that we've never seen before. So with that, I'll leave it to questions. If anybody sort of has a question, please go ahead. And if you don't have questions, we can sort of wrap it up. But I'll wait maybe for a few minutes if you have questions. Let me take a look. I'm not sure if people know how to ask it, but if you don't, then I'll wait maybe a few minutes. And again, if you have any questions that you may be shy to ask over here, you may not want to ask over here, you can always email us at info@smartagesolutions.com, info@smartagesolutions.com. You can go to our website, smartagesolutions.com, and you can find us there as well. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. You can always reach out to us. I'll wait for a few more minutes. The time is till 3. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and do it. If not, then we'll sort of close it out, and we'll be on our way. Leave everybody here to a beautiful day and hopefully some really great things. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so again, seems fantastic. I hope I've answered a lot of your questions. And again, if you do have questions, please feel free to reach out. I appreciate everyone's time today. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've been able to, oh, hold on one second. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Is this question? Okay, no, that was just, there's different windows here for chatting and different windows for questions. Okay, that's great. Again, thank you all. God bless you all. I hope you all have incredible success. And again, we're hearing so much great positive news across the industry, from California to New York, all throughout the country. We're hearing such incredible reporting of business and good things happening. And of course, I wish every one of you great success, and God bless you.